Hi, hello there, and I'm Drake, and welcome to what is another day on Findhorn. We're not on Dartmoor right now, and we're walking around the garden project here at Findhorn. And this is a bit of a commercial enterprise. And what's really beautiful about it, if you look at all these wonderful cabbages we've got growing over here. Now, Findhorn is a bit famous for its cabbages, and they are looking quite good. They're looking very healthy, and it's quite nice to see them. We're next to a bit of a noisy road, so we're going to move off down this way and see what else we find that's growing here that's exciting. So we've got a lot of weed control matting growing at the moment, so that's less interesting. But we've got lots of lettuce, which is just coming into its own over here. Lots of lovely rocket. This being my favourite salad of all time. And I've said it before, but if you're ever going to grow a vegetable, go for rocket. It's tough, it's resilient, it tastes like heaven, and it's great because it's one of those ones you can take the seeds from after it flowers, recrop, resow, very easily. Great plant. So we move on. And what else we got going here? We've got lots and lots of runner beans. And aren't they beautiful? I mean, just the structure of them. And this is the thing when you're growing, even if you're growing vegetables, it's like they can be aesthetically pleasing. And to me, this is every bit as beautiful as any plant you could grow in your garden for aesthetics. I mean, those beautiful pods that are hanging down there, the leaves, the vine, and the shape of this growing in a column. Absolutely beautiful. And then along here they've been grown in lines, and again lovely, beautifully done, wonderful with the straw mulch, keeps the weeds down, but also it reflects the light up, so it's also helping the plants grow, giving them light, and it's a contrast. You've got this lovely straw brown colour of the straw and then the lovely lush green of the runner beans. And so you've got this wonderful contrast, and that's the thing with gardening and growing. If you can play with contrasts, it is extraordinary what you can do. Not just the colours of the plants themselves or the leaves of the plants, but the textures, the surfaces of the ground, the kind of materials you're going to use. Here it's very soft, it's straw. But in your garden you might make stone paths or concrete paths or bark chipping paths. And those are really important aspects of any garden, looking at the structure of the garden and the aesthetic. So we keep going, let's see what else we can find. So we're coming into an area where there's, looks like a fair bit of forage growing over there. We're into a composting area, or let's call it a transition area, because I'm not really sure what that's about. Some Jerusalem artichokes, and lovely kale here. Some onions. Looks like we've got some squash which have finished for the year. Lots of mildew, you know, which can be a problem with these plants, because they with courgettes, because they don't like to get too dry, they don't like to get too wet, and if you've got them close cropped they tend to pick up mildew. So here they've picked up a bit. We've got some lovely new beds which have been made here, and it's like, oh, have a look at this soil. Lovely dark soil, lovely compost. Oh, look at that, beautiful. I love rummaging around in other people's soil and see what they've been doing. Lovely. And this is all growing on sand. You know, this is all growing on sand. Remember that these are sand dunes around here, and this is what people have been able to do, and that's so exciting for me, so exciting. And we go over here, and this white netting, it's like a kind of, it's the bridal effect for growing plants. But here you've got all the winter salads that have been planted, and I can see some of the chicory and oriental greens that are in there, and yeah, that's all looking really delicious. And another area, and I'm not sure what's going on here, and it could even be, you know, there's a lot of clover in here. And you know, one of the things you can do with your garden, there's a lot of wildflowers as well, of course. You can see some wonderful stuff growing over there. And it's sometimes good to leave something fallow and let something just become an area where you allow them to flower, like whether it's dandelions or you know, or clover. And of course clover is great because it's fixing nitrogen into the ground. So it looks to me a little bit like what's been going on here is they're leaving one area to go a little bit wild and allow for it, the soil structure, to just recover from being planted with vegetables, and allow it to go a little bit wild, put the nitrogen into the ground, let it rest, let the soil rest. And sometimes that's really one of the nicest things you can do with a garden is, you know, we get very active about digging and putting stuff in and so on. But sometimes it's just really about letting it all rest and giving it time and allowing things to grow at their own pace and in their own way. And I think that's it for today. So thank you very much for your time and thank you for your listening, and I hope you have a really, really great day. Bye bye.